generate more profits, either as a salon owner, a suite owner, or even if you're a hairdresser. These three ways, you'll be able to generate over 50 clients coming into your chair, bringing in more money and more money home to you. So welcome, everyone. I'm Karen Hardy. I have been a stylist for over 35 years, a salon owner for 30 of those years, and I also am a salon suite building business owner as well. And I have had the honors over the past 10 years or so, really taken and poured into other salon owners and hairdressers and suite owners how to take their business and keep thriving in our industry. And I'm certain after you watch this webinar to the very end, the 3 steps that I'm going to be sharing with you will absolutely change the way that you look at your business. It will show you how to put more guests into your chair, and will also help you see how to put more of the dollars that are coming in into your pocket. So I want you to take a few minutes and think about, what does success look like to you? Like the next year, like what does it look like to have success when 2025 ends? What will that look like for you? And I want to invite you that, like if we're on a call, like that's one of the things we will start with, right? And so what does success look like to you? So let's just get right into it. I want to share a story with you about a friend. She's a stylist, and she decided to invest in herself and open up her own suite. And, like most, right? We get into it and we're excited about the new changes that we're doing and what we're creating. And that's exactly what she did. She really, truly, she was smart. She was savvy. She opened up her own suite. She bought a house. She has a husband, but often she was the breadwinner in the family. And so that also can feel heavy. And she has 3 young children who are now in school, right? So now they're in school full time. And she had created her schedule so that she worked like 3 days a week and created that balance that she was wanting so that she was able to be at home with the kids more. But now that they are all in school, she's finding that she has some more free time, and it's creating her wanting to dream bigger, things that she could do, and all those, like what is those next steps in life, right? And so what happens, is that she's gotten so comfortable with what she's been doing and creating that balance that she felt like in life, that it's actually starting to hinder her from being able to take those next steps. It's like she realizes that this time that they're in school is precious, right? So she can take and truly grow something next, right? Get to that next level of whatever that may be. But she's stuck. She's stuck feeling, what if it takes away from? What if it doesn't go as planned? What if I take this next step in this other adventure within the industry still, and it doesn't work? Or what does it look like if I take and kind of adjust things, right? So she's really starting to doubt that next dream, that next ability, her ability to take, but the problem is that it's that comfort. And so often we all get into this comfort where we're like, okay, we're at, even though we want something more, but we're okay, we're at, we're not willing to risk the things that may need to be risked in order to create the results that you want, right? And so that is something that happens so often in every area of our business and in our life, right? But the lesson here that I want you to really get from this is that she had something like stirring inside of her to get something new, to grow something more, to build something bigger than where she had started. But she wasn't willing to reevaluate her lifestyle and make some adjustments to achieve the financial goals of freedoms she desired so much. And yes, would it have been challenging in the beginning? Probably, but the payoff would be so much more. Like knowing that what she was doing was going to create the ability for financial freedom more for her family, but also relieve that pressure off of her as being the breadwinner also in the family. And I don't know where you are at in your business, but maybe you have felt that heaviness before of being the breadwinner. And what happens if I do change something? What happens if I really decide to jump all in on what it is that I want to create? And we often can be the ones that can stop that next level of growth because we're comfortable where we're at. And so maybe that's you. And if that's you, jot that down next to your success that you want to be creating next year. But I want to also share with you another story. It's one of my recent salon owners that I'm working with, and identifying the gap in your business. So we all have gaps, whether we are a salon owner, suite owner, a hairdresser that is in a commission-based salon, or booth runner. It doesn't matter where we're at in the industry, but we all have a gap that's inside of our business that we're not seeing that is stopping our growth, right? And so that's where I want to come with you. Like, what is the gap that's stopping you from growing to that next level in your business? And so this salon owner that I'm currently coaching, like, she's in her first year of owning her salon and she's friggin' crushing it. She has already brought in $500,000 her first year, built out a team. Crazy thing though is that she had not paid herself for 10 months. And that's not even the beginning parts of it. And for me, it was like, well, how long can you continue doing that? Like, you decided to take and invest your money, your time, your emotions, everything into building this business and opening up your business. And yet, would that be sustainable? Because this is what you've set yourself up for, is like not to be paid behind the services that you create at your salon, right? And maybe that's you where you're at. Or maybe it's just that, like, you're able to bring something home, but it's surely not what it should be, being a business owner and working behind the chair, if that's you, or in a treatment room. But she had been crushing it in so many different areas, but she wasn't looking at some key metrics that she needed to in order to see where the growth was coming, what things like that. And so when she came into, started in my coaching program, those are things that we look at. We look at, like, where are you at, where you want to go? And, like, let's look inside and take an audit of your business and see where things are going and what you need to change up in order to create the growth that's needed, or even to sustain what you've already done, right? And so as soon as I got in, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I knew what the gap was looking at numbers and things like that. Is that one thing was, besides her not tracking her numbers and things like that, she wasn't even tracking, like, the retention rate of the new guests coming in. And so the retention rate of her new guests coming in were at 37%, which is crazy, right? Because what we do know is that she had a great marketing funnel that was bringing guests in, but it was bleeding her out on the other end. So there was no guest experience that was keeping them in there, right? So they would come in, but they weren't returning. And so the two things we do know, in order to have a successful business, like, we have to know who our avatar is so we can create a marketing funnel to get in front of them. And then we have to have a guest experience that will exceed their expectations that they ever thought that they were going to be able to. Like, we want to exceed it. We just don't want to give an experience, but we want to exceed what they're wanting. And so she didn't have that part. She had the funnel down, she had the marketing down, but she did not have the part of bringing them back in. And maybe that's you. Maybe you're like, yeah, I really don't have a guest experience. Okay, maybe some are coming in, but, like, how much am I keeping and how much more could I keep, right? Because it's one thing to always be on this hamster wheel of trying to get in front of your ideal guest all the time, right? Like, you want to be able to create even flow in your business so that it's organic, right? That it's organic the way things flow. It's organic the way people experience your business. And so when you're missing things like this, especially the guest experience, your business cannot thrive that way. And what would happen is, if she didn't start coaching with me and she kept continuing on this because the money looked like it was growing great, right? She would actually be shrinking. She just didn't realize it yet because she was only in her first year and she wasn't tracking numbers, right? But literally, if the funnel marketing stopped working as well as it was, and she was hoping to maintain what she already did this year, she would actually end up being less than 50% of what she did in 2024. And that's scary. And that is what happens so often in so many salon owners, because we're getting success. We're kind of like trying to weed the things out and figure out what's working, but we're not looking at the things that are most important in our business. And knowing your numbers is something that most individuals don't want to know nothing about. But knowing what the key numbers are in your business, that is what creates success. That's what creates that next level of success. And that's what creates sustainability, but also leveraging to be able to get to that next level. But don't let them scare you. Like numbers are, it's black and white, it's facts, right? But when you have these facts in your business, you can look at those and then create the system and the strategy that you need in order to propel to that next level. And so the lesson is of that is that, like we can create things in our business, we can open up something. And the facts are most of us open up a salon, open up a suite. We have no idea how to run a business because let's face it, in cosmetology school, it's not something that's really taught. And so we go out and maybe you started out at a commission salon and knew that you wanted to open up your business, right? Like that's what I did. I had no clue what I was doing. All I knew was I was really good at doing amazing hair. God gave me a gift and I was really good at that. But I couldn't bank on that, right? And so I did that. I opened up my salon, 23 years old, had no clue what I was doing. And even though I, like my salon owner, had great success, I was working 80 hours behind the chair and missing out on life. And I got to a point in my life that it was like, is this worth it? Is this all that there is? And even though the money may be great, maybe I was making a lot of profit, but was it worth it? I didn't have systems and strategies in place in order for me to take and be able to lead my team well, be able to really create the success that I wanted. And it wasn't until I finally like sat down on the floor crying and realized like there has to be a better way. And I saw where my gap was, and I knew I needed to hire a mentor that was going to help me work through these things and create the systems and the strategies so that I could have that $1 million salon, but so that also I was not the one that had to do everything in the salon in order to create the success. And so maybe that you as a salon owner, like you're sitting here like, yeah, I definitely have some gaps in my business and I need some strategies and I need some systems because what I'm doing isn't sustainable, but it's also not maybe what you thought it was going to be when you opened up your business. Maybe you thought you were going to have a little bit more freedom. Maybe you thought you were actually going to make more money than you did at the salon you work at. And the sad part is there's so many salon owners that I work with, so many individuals that go into suites that, my gosh, they're like making less money than they did working for somebody simply because they don't know the numbers, simply because we go into it because we want to create a better environment. We want to have a different atmosphere for individuals, something that we've always wanted. And we're banking on the craft that we have because we're so good at what we do, but that's not what's going to build the business. And so maybe that's your gap too. You need some strategies and systems. And so think about that, like where you're at in your business, no matter what area. What is the gap that you're currently in that is stopping you from being able to create that next level? Like, what is that gap? Maybe it's that you're not filling the chairs, right? Maybe it's that you need that funneling market so that you can fill your chairs. Maybe you're sitting there looking around your salon with empty chairs, or maybe you as a suite owner or a hairdresser or a beauty professional, like you're like, I'm not, my books are not full. Like I need that marketing strategy. I need to be able to create that marketing funnel so that I get in front of my ideal guests so I can fill my chair constantly with people I love, right? And if that's something you're looking for, like that's something we teach in our programs is how to get in front of your ideals and create that marketing funnel so that you can bring in 50 plus new guests into your business every month and not have to wait for them to come to you because that sucks there, right? Like waiting for somebody to come to you when you can have a marketing funnel that will get you directly in front of them. So maybe that's you, maybe that's your gap, right? Maybe you just need some systems in place. Maybe you need to see how to put the systems in place to pay you correctly as a business owner so that you're making profit, so that you're also being paid as the business owner, not just the service provider, not just the business owner that does services and gets paid that way, but the business owner that also gets compensated for managing her business, growing her business, and then making profit on top of that. And maybe that's your gap in your business. So just take a minute and just think about, where is my gap in my business? What is it that I'm trying to create that I just keep getting in front of this and it just keeps blocking me? So write that down. Maybe you have two. Maybe you have to think about it a little bit harder, but like, I want you to think about that and write that down. Because once you can figure out what your gap is, it will change everything in your business. When you can see that, then you can identify what the problem is and create the strategy to bust through that. And so you might be here because you already booked a growth matrix call with me. And if that's great, great. I want you to do all these things. But if you haven't, below on that email, you'll be able to book a call and get on with me. And what we will do is we will look at those things like what your success was, what it looks like for you, what's your gap in your business that you're seeing. And then we create a growth metrics roadmap to get you through that gap to that next level of where you're wanting to go. So I want to invite you, definitely click on that button and book that call. Like, gosh, I wish I would have had those things when I ever started out. But I want to share with you also another salon owner with a very like micro salon, and that how she was running her business, it looked like she was literally making nothing, right? So she's only been in business a couple of years, but it looked like she wasn't paying herself. It looked like she had like nothing in place, right? Literally in her business set up. And so that was the picture that was painted even for her husband. And her husband was like, you need to close up. Like, you're not making any money. It's eating us. It's drying, taking all of our money, even like you're not even making money to pay our bills. And what's crazy is because she was so disconnected from the business part of it, from her numbers, from the money part of it, that she literally was absolutely paying herself, but wasn't the way that she should have been. She was paying and meshing things too much together. So she had her business stuff together and her personal stuff. Like she was taking money from the business, paying her personal bills, right? And so maybe that's for you right now that you're like, yeah, I do that all the time. What's a big deal? Big deal is you don't want to mesh your business together. Like it's too gray for you even to run your business correctly, knowing your numbers and be able to have the strategies to grow it. So think about that. Like, where are you at in your business? Are you running your business like it's a business? Do you have systems in place? Do you have strategies in place? Do you know your numbers? What does it look like? Do you have a marketing funnel in place, right? Or are you just winging it? Are you just hoping that it will all work out in the end? Or are you like, yes, that is me. However, I'm tired of it going this way. And I want to create these systems because I see all these other individuals, all these other salon owners, all these other suite owners, even all these other hairdressers that are making multiple six figures behind the chair. And I'm not. Like maybe you're the hairdresser that's working for somebody and you're like, well, I can't do, like, I have nothing to do with any of those things you just talked about. And I want to just talk to you for 1 second and share with you, you so much do. Because we have the opportunity to truly create what we want, right? Like in our industry, we can create the amount of financials that we want. We have so much freedom. Like so often you can create the schedule that you want, create it around your life, but sometimes it hinders us when we have this kind of freedom because we don't have a strategy and system in place. And then when we're working for somebody and we're like, well, I'm not the owner, I have nothing to do with any of that, but you do have control of what you do behind that chair in that treatment room or at your nail table. And you get to own that part of it. You get to say, you know what? I may not take and be able to have control of some things that I'm doing, but I do have control of this, the experience I'm giving my guest when they're with me. What does that look like? The experience that, like how I am exceeding their expectations, right? And also the fact, like, if you're wanting to create six figures behind the chair, like if you want to bring home six figures from behind the chair, like you have to have a strategy to get there. You just can't wing it and hope that the end of the year when your salon owner tells you, hey, Sally, I'm so proud of you. You made $120,000 this year, right? Like you can't allow your success to be in the palms of somebody else's hands when you have the opportunity to control it all yourself. And maybe you're sitting there thinking like, well, first of all, like, my salon owner like wants nothing to do with helping us grow and create it better because she's not up to change or whatever that is, maybe you need to invite her to get on this call. But seriously, you know, you can create still what you want behind the chair. And if that place isn't where you need to be, like that's something that you need to think about, right? Like so often it's staying in a place because we're comfortable and not seeing reality and what possibilities really could be. And so it doesn't matter where you're at in our business. Doesn't matter what area you're at, whether a salon owner, suite owner, a hairdresser that works for somebody else, a booth renter, or another individual that's in the beauty industry that also is in a suite or in a treatment room. Like it doesn't matter. The truths are that we get to create what we want because of the amazing beauty industry that we're in. But what you create is truly up to you. What you take and commit to doing, what you do to commit the way of being. Like if you want to be a millionaire salon, then you better step into walking that today. You can't become it without owning it first. You can't become it without seeing it first. And so I want to invite you, really think about the different stories that I shared with you today. And what does success look like to you? And where are the gaps in the business that you can see clearly now that these are some things I do need to change? And so I want to invite you, go ahead and book a call if you don't have one. We'll dive deeper into your specific numbers, create a customized roadmap that will help you achieve the results you desire. I'm here to guide you. Like this is just truly my passion, is to help others in our industry thrive in their business and not stay stuck because they can't see the gaps. They can't see that they truly can have what they see others have. The sad part is that there literally is only like 5% of our industry that truly is creating the success. The other 95% are winging it and not creating the financial freedom that they so could, but also not creating the lifestyle and the dreams that they had for their family even, because they got some blind spots going on. So I want to invite you, you take nothing else away from this. 2025 is going to be a powerful year, and I invite you to come into this and take control of 2025 and really create exactly what it is that you want for your business. You can so do it. If I could do it at 23, I had no clue what I was doing, literally, and built a multiple $1 million business. Also, one of the top 200 fastest growing salons in North America, one of the top 200 salons in North America, not just once, several times, out of a little country town that had 23 residents in it. If I can do it from that place of not knowing anything either, you can too, my friend. And so take it. We have the best industry to be a part of, and you get to create exactly what you want. So go ahead, and I'll see you on the other side. Looking forward to connecting with you soon.